So you want to make sure that you nicely flour the banneton so nothing sticks. Don't worry about a little bit too much excessive flour, because we can just remove it later on from the dough or from the final baked bread. So now you see I have a little bit of flour here on the surface, not too much. Now this is the dough. This is a sourdough dough, so 40% sourdough on 100% flour. That's 400 grams of flour, so 160 grams of sourdough. So start like this. Flour your hands a little bit, or you can also use water. Actually, I think in fact water might be a little better in this case. Stretch and fold it one more time, because then you can nicely remove it from the bowl. Okay, now it's ready to be removed. Place it in front of you. Use your hands to flour the dough just a little bit. And now stretch the dough a little bit apart. Okay, so it starts sticking to the surface just a little bit, but that's fine. So I'm stretching it apart a little bit, just like this. And now go here to the top of the dough and take the top and move it to the bottom. Make sure it sticks like this. Now take this, the right hand side, and move it to the middle again. Left hand side in the middle. Now the full bottom part, shift it into the middle as well. That way we are creating tension on the other side. Now I'm noticing it starts sticking a little bit, so I'm just adding some more flour here to the side so I can use it. Putting a little bit below. Okay, one more time, from the outside to the inside. That way we will be creating tension on the other side, which helps the raise in the oven. This step is really the most important step when baking. It doesn't really matter how long you do this. You want to make sure that you don't add too much flour to the dough, because it stays nice and soft and fluffy the higher the hydration is, and we are adding excessive flour here, so try to not add too much flour. But generally speaking, if it sticks too much, just add a little bit more flour. It's better to have something which might not be as fluffy in comparison to something that just completely sticks to your hands. Okay, nice. One more time. Let's turn it around. Now I'm pushing it together a little bit like this. And you see already all the tension that we have on the surface. It's perfect. Now we will place it upside down in the banneton. Now what I usually do is I put it together like this a little bit more. And one thing that can happen is, which is actually the worst thing I think that can happen during baking, is that the dough will stick to the banneton. What's going to happen then, if this happens, that the whole bread will collapse in the oven and will look more like a pancake. So that's something we really want to avoid. I actually always add a little bit more flour in the banneton, especially here to the sides where the dough will raise, because that way I'm sure it's not going to stick to the banneton. And after baking, you can just remove all the excessive flour by shaking the bread a little bit. And we are not adding more hydration to the inside of the dough, which we don't want, because it's just on the outside. Next step is cover your banneton with some foil. It can be a towel, it can be anything. Make sure it doesn't there's not too much tension on this foil, because now that the dough will start to raise, we don't want to block it. if there were tension, it could be that the dough just starts sticking to the foil. So just lightly place it on top of the banneton.